Sorry about that. Ran out of storage on my iPad, so you get two parts this week. So anyway, going back to half steps as a recap. There are something called intervals. That's the distance between two notes. The first two that you should learn are a half step and a whole step. A half step is the distance of one fret on the guitar, and the whole step is two of those put together, which is two frets on the guitar. 0, 1, 2. So I could say A to A sharp is a half step. This is A sharp right here. And then A to B is a whole step. A to B. Now, why is it important for what we're about ready to do? Is because when we do string bends, we don't want to just do this. We don't want to go, right, bend out into nowhere. What we're doing is we're bending this note here to another specific pitch that we're aiming for, and that'll make it sound good. If we just bend out there like that, it's going to sound like a cat dying. Right? So to do a string bend, the first thing you do is set your hand up properly. It's not just, here's a string bend, go do it, right? Or just like this way, put your finger in and push the string up. Let's set this thing up first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here on the 15th fret of the second string, right there. I'm gonna put my ring finger down, I'm gonna put my middle finger down, and then I'm gonna put my pointer finger down. They don't need to be like quite on the fret. They can just be kind of bunched up here like this. I'm gonna take my thumb, I'm gonna throw my thumb over top for a leverage. So you see at this point, my wrist, it's kind of popping up a little bit, it's going concave right here, right? So I have my wrist like this right here, and when I push up, see what happens? Okay. So I have this here. My tips of my fingers are pointing off to a space on the horizon, so I'm not straight up and down like this. I have my thumb over top, kind of turn the doorknob here a little bit. There we go. Thumbs over top, turn the doorknob like that. Thumb over top. I got my wrist up a little higher than usual. My fingertips right here are pointing off to a spot in the horizon right about over here or so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to thumb over here, and I'm going to hit the string, and I'm going to push up with my fingers. Like that right there. And these two other fingers are going to help give me some oomph to get up there. Right? And so that's how you do a stress, mechanically how you do a string bend. Fingers 1, 2, 3. Help push up, they're angled to a spot out in the horizon, like this right here, right? Now, what you're listening for when you do this, to make sure, let's back up for a second. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bend this note right here, this D, because you have B, C, C sharp, D. I'm gonna try to bend that up to this note E right here, that's 2 frets away, because E is a whole step above the D. So the D, D sharp, E, D, D sharp, E. I'm going to try to bend this D up to this note right here. There it is, right? So how to practice that and how to know if you're in tune or not. And what you're going to do, at least what I like to do, is I use this app called YouTube. And if you look on here, it says, what does that say right there? Drone for musical practice and meditation. We're not going to meditate, we're going to do this for musical practice. And it's going to sound something like this. It's just an E drone. It's not to mean anything fancy, because we're trying to work on our ear, our musicianship. So what you're going to listen for when you do this is called the wobble, right? So the D right here is vibrating at a certain frequency, right? And the E is vibrating at a certain frequency. They're not the same. That's why they sound different. If they sounded the same, they'd be the same note. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to bend our string up to the frequency of the E, which is what this is right here. Now, as I approach that, if you listen real carefully, you'll hear like a whoa, 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 whoa. That's the frequency's not quite lining up, and it's gonna sound kind of bad, actually. And the closer you get to the note you're trying to bend to, the more intense the wobble is gonna be, because the frequencies are starting to kind of come into line together. So as you bend up, you're gonna whoa, 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 and then eventually when you bend up to the correct note, you hear them join into unity. So the frequencies are matching each other. Before they'd be kind of like this, and then as you get closer, they start doing the peaks and valleys the same, just like I'm doing here. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I have a drone E. I literally just typed in here, I typed on YouTube, I typed in E drone notes, and this popped up. And there's a bunch of these like meditative ones. You can do that stuff if you like, but we're using it for guitar purposes. Here on my note D on the 15th fret, I got my thumb over top, I got my fingers angled, I got my wrist up here a little bit. I'm going to push up There it is. And I bent the D up to an E, because in E blues or E minor jam, the one note, that first note that we want to try to aim for is the E to sound it more complete. So what I could do after I practice this a bunch, and remember, room wasn't built in a day, right? This might take some practice to get. There it is. Out of tune, in tune. I might do something like this. So I'll start on this E right here. This is an example. There's a lot of things you can do. This is the example I have for today. Is I might go to this E right here because of the magic triangle, right? E right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm on a D right now. There you are. Not that we have to do it there today. That's a tough one. Well, anyway, so cool. So work on your string bending this week, and then when you feel comfortable, we'll combine it with what I did there, the 3-note sequence. Always focusing on making sure our bend is accurate. Start with a whole step bend first, and then we'll move to half step bends. And then, like I said, keep on working on the Arctic Monkeys tune. I'll take a look at it next time. Fortunately, I just can't say anything about it until I actually see you on playing on the guitar. So work on that for me, and if no questions, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.